a recipe for crispy pancake rolls. So I used some pancakes the other day for another dish, and they fried up quite well, and they went quite crispy in the frying pan. So I thought what we could do is we could stuff the pancakes with a nice filling, and then we might be able to fry them. Might even be able to deep fry them in a frying pan, and they might go crispy and be like the type of pancake rolls that you get from the Chinese takeaway or Chinese restaurants. They do spring rolls, but they also do pancake rolls. And I just kind of thought, oh, well, that might be kind of quite interesting. So they're a little bit thicker. So instead of normally when I make pancakes, if I use per egg, I normally get maybe 6 or 7, sometimes even 8 pancakes per egg. This time I've made sure that I got half that amount, so I've only got, like, per egg I've only got 4 pancakes, so they're quite thicker, because I think they need to be thicker because we need to protect the inside from splurting out. Got some leeks because I think they're a decent price at the moment, so we've got a kilo of leeks, and we've got some chickpeas that I was going to use something else, but we'll put some chickpeas in. We've got some cheap Greek style salad cheese. It's basically feta, but they can't call it feta because it'll have it won't be made where it's supposed to be made, or it'll have the wrong ratio of sheep or goat's milk used. This will probably just be used. This will probably just have be like 100% cow's milk. I'm not entirely sure. And then we've got some onions, which are like a basic ingredient in most things. One of those ingredients that if you don't put it in, you notice it's not there, type of thing. So onions always, and an egg, which I'm going to use just to seal the pancake. When we roll the pancakes up, I just kind of think we just need to seal them with a bit of egg, and I think what that will do is it'll stop them from wanting to fall apart too much. So that's there for. Normally when you're making wontons and things like that, you don't need to use the egg. They naturally want to stick together so that so they won't explode when you cook them. But with the pancakes not going to want to stick to itself, type of thing. It needs something to glue it together. So that's what the egg's for. I'm not entirely sure what ratios I'm going to use of things first. What we need to do is we need to chop and prep the leeks and cook them as well, because quite a lot of liquid is going to come out of the leeks. So we need to prep them, wash them, and then cook them, and then squeeze out some of that liquid. So leeks, pretty straightforward. We'll use this one as an example, and I'll show you on this one. So as leeks grow, you get dirt in this area here, and sometimes down here as well, which you need to wash out. Lots of people don't use the green tops of the leeks. However, I think they're nice and peppery, and it's like they're a little bit tougher, but they're not that tough that you can't eat them. And we're going to slice them kind of quite thin, so the flavour outweighs the kind of the woodiness of them, if that kind of makes sense. So we need to wash them through because there's dirt in them, and we don't want dirt because it's not particularly nice to eat. Right, unless you're a child or or a pregnant lady. So we just need to whip off that bit there because they're a little bit scraggly. That will go in the compost, and then we split in half. I don't know do women still eat dirt when they're pregnant? I don't know. Or is that just one of those urban legends? Right, so split here, leave the root on because that's what's going to hold it all together. So start there, just slice right along there, and as we can see that there is some dirt in there, so we need to wash that out. We could leave them whole and wash it out, but I've always found it's better to slice everything up first and then wash. And then we'll certainly make sure we wash them in warm water, and it'll get rid of all that dirt. All the dirt will float down to the bottom. We'll do it in a sink. We'll fill the sink up with warm water, and then we'll wash the leeks in that water. All this soil and dirt will fall down to the bottom of the water, and all the leeks will float onto the top. So we generally just scoop them off dead easy. Yeah, so that's that. So they don't need to be completely uniform. They just need to be of a rough size. So we kind of maybe want them thinner than that. Yeah, I want them thinner than that. So there's about a kilo of leeks to start off with. So what I'll do is I'll cook all the leeks, and then we can see what they cook down to. It's quite a lot of leeks, you'll think, but they'll cook down to not quite a lot. And then what we've got with the leeks will dictate how much onion I put in, how much chickpeas, how much feta. I pretty much decided I'm going to use all that feta because I think it'd be kind of quite nice to have that. It doesn't melt inside, but I think it'd be kind of quite nice. And leeks and feta work really well together. So the amount of leeks that we've got will dictate how much of the other things that we add to it. So do like that, carry on going. I'll do the others, we'll wash them, and then we'll, I'm just going to cook them in a little pan with there'll be enough, even though I'll drain the leeks, there'll be enough residual water in them to cook them. So we won't need to add any oil, just a little bit of salt, and then they'll kind of steam in their own juices, and then we'll kind of drain that juice off when they're cooked. So no need for any oil or anything like that. So like if you were stewing, if you were just simply sauteing a little bit of spinach, the water on the spinach is enough to cook it, and you don't need to add any more water or that type of thing. You can add butter, but you just that's just to add flavour more than anything else. So that's it for the moment. Right, so this is the leeks once they are cooked. As you can see, the pan was full once I chopped all the leeks and washed them, bring them up to the top, and they've shrunk down, and a lot of liquids come out of them. So you can see down the bottom of the pan there. Can you just see without it being too? You can just loads of water's come out of them. I'm not going to waste that water. I'm going to use it in something else. But we need to get rid of it, otherwise the pancakes are going to be too wet. So I'm going to put it in a colander and we'll squeeze loads of that liquid out, and then we'll just be left with the dried leeks. Not dried, but there's loads of steam. I'll move that away. Where's the camera over there? I don't know. So I'll drain those off, get rid of the excess water, and then is that a bit of dirt? That's a little bit of dirt there and there. That's fine. We'll get rid of that. And then we'll come back, and we need to cool them as well, because we can't put the cheese onto hot ingredients because it'll want to melt the cheese, and also you've got to touch it as well. So we just need to cool it down as well. So we'll squeeze it and then put it on a tray, and then it'll cool down a lot quicker. The leeks have now been cooked, and I've squeezed all the juice out of them. Well, the liquid. It's not really. It's juice, yeah. So and I've also cooked the onions as well, and I've squeezed juice out of that. So that you can see there's quite a lot of juice that came out of that. So a kilo of leeks, once the juice was squeezed out of them, was 500 grams. I'm a little bit concerned. I don't want to make too much of the filling, so I'm only going to use half the amount of leeks. I've used 300 grams. 300 grams of onions. I've also cooked the onions and squeezed the excess juice out of those as well, because we don't want the inside to be too wet, otherwise they'll be going soggy. So 250 grams of the cooked leeks, and I haven't weighed the onions, but there was 300 grams of raw onions that I then cooked and squeezed the juice out of. I'll write it all down in the description. And then so that's in a bowl. We'll add half the cheese, and we'll add some of the chickpeas. So it's a 200 gram bar of feta, so that can go in just to start off with. I need to turn just to make sure this is all correct. Yeah, it's 100 grams approximately, and then we'll put in some chickpeas. So we can always add a little bit. We can always add, as always, we can always add a little bit more. We can't take away. So we'll put in 100 grams of cooked chickpeas to start off with. It's just a little bit more, and then we'll a bit of salt, a bit of pepper, quite a bit of pepper, and then we'll break up the cheese and we'll mix around, and then we'll have a look, see if it's the right kind of the idea of ratios of cheese to all that type of thing. So mixy. And then we'll have a taste as well. I'll be able to look at it and we'll kind of think, yeah, it needs a bit more cheese, it needs some more chickpeas. Probably got a little bit too much onion, if I'm honest. But onions are cheap and delicious when cooked properly, obviously. So what's that looking like? That's not looking too bad. It's not looking too bad. I don't want big lumps of cheese. I just kind of want. No, I think that'll be good. You'll break up those bits. Yeah, I think yeah, that looks good ratio. I think as always, I'm faffing with a bit of food. So, getting that off my fingers and we'll have a bit of a taste. And we'll kind of see if it needs any bit more salt and pepper, that type of thing. No, right. You just need to be careful when you're using feta, feta-ish, it's not proper feta, those bits can go in, that it's quite salty, so you just kind of need to compensate for that with the, and we're going to put that out of the way, just there. You just need to compensate for that when you're seasoning, because it's salty, you just need to lessen the amount of salt that you're going to put in. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'll remember what we did. So, pancake. So we need 2. I'll just do around the outside because I know how to fold them. I just can't remember where it's going to end up. So we'll go around the outside for the first one, and then we can kind of work out where it's going to be. So how much we're going to put in it to get rid of that cloth. So I reckon about that much. Is that going to be enough? A few more chickpeas. About that much. Maybe a little bit more. Get away with. What can we get away with? About that much. We'll do this one for the first one. So maybe go a little bit wider. Sorry if you're coming for exact recipes and exact methods. This is not the video for you. This is probably not the channel for you. So that over there, that over there, that there, that's going to be a nice size. And then, oops, make a mess of my board. Should mix that a little bit better. So that there, like that. I think yes, and then we'll fry. Yeah, I dare deep fry them. Yeah, we'll do both. We'll fry one. I'll mix the others, and then we'll fry and we'll deep fry. I think they're going to explode if we deep fry them, but it might just be worth having a go. We'll see. Yeah, I'll do the others. So we'll roll the others up, and then we'll see how they turn out. Will that stick? Yeah, okay. As long as we fry it, that side down first, that will seal, and then hopefully nothing will want to explode out of the sides. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Yeah, so we'll stop the video and then we'll come back when we're over on the stove. Here we go, let's see if these work. So, seam side down, so that's where the egg is. So we need to cook that and it'll hopefully keep things in place. We'll just do, actually this one's, the pancakes have gone a little bit dry, so I made them the other day. So this one's split, so we'll definitely cook that one, because we might do something else with the other 2 that are left. I think the recipe that I made, there's enough for about 8 pancakes, so that's like 4 eggs. No, 2 eggs, 8 pancakes. So we'll see how we go. They might go crispy, this might work. I think they wanted to be, pancakes wanted to be softer. They probably dried out just that little bit too much in the fridge. So I'll have another go at this at some point, because it seems like quite a nice idea, and the filling's really nice. So we'll have a go another time if this isn't too much of a disaster. But as you can see, we'll cook them so they go crispy on one side. I won't show you the whole process because I don't think it's that interesting, if I'm honest, watching things fry in a pan, unless that's your thing, but we'll see. I'll see if it works. I might just need to have another go. And we'll see how we go. Maybe. Ever hopeful. Again, I don't think they'll be particularly aesthetically pleasing, but I think they're going to taste nice. They like cooked leeks and feta work really well together. The acidity and the saltiness of the feta work really well with something like leeks. Leeks and onions, they're going to work together, and then the chickpeas, more like a bulking out agent, and then but they've also got like a nice nutty crunch to them as well. So we'll see. Oh, there we go. That's okay. That's all right. So, see how that one goes as well. We don't want them on too high a heat because they will burn. The pancakes will burn before the inside of the before the inside. It's cooked on the inside, but it won't. We need to get it up to. It needs to be warm by the time we serve it. I think we might actually be able to deep fry these. Maybe that's something we could potentially do for another video. We'll have another go. I'll do another filling, and I kind of think one of those interchangeable dishes. So kind of like you haven't got any leeks, doesn't matter. What have you got type of thing. So like cabbage would probably work really well. I have seen spring rolls and pancake rolls made with cabbage and carrots worked really well, if I'm honest. So onions, you've got some chickpeas, if you've got a little bit of, if you haven't got feta, if you've just got some normal cheese, I think that would work kind of quite well. So anything you can kind of think you could do like a meaty version as well, so as long as it wasn't too wet, so you could put some meat in there, anything you want. I think it's going to be one of those interchangeable kind of recipes, like I always kind of say with lasagna and things like that, and kind of loan it. They're all, in my eyes, very, very, very interchangeable. You know, if you can wrap it up in something, oh yeah, they're nice. Look at that. It might be an actual success. But anyway, I'll carry on cooking them, and then we'll come back when we can have a slice into them. That's obviously me slicing on an angle to make them look all chefy and spectacular. But yeah, even that one that's split, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I might have a go at deep frying, but that might be another video. We'll see. We'll see. So we'll carry on cooking, and then we'll come back when they're cooked, and we'll slice into them. Once again, that's me slicing. Right, we're cooked. Let's have a look. They're sealed. Probably due to the fact that I was a little bit gentle with them, so just put them on a bit of kitchen paper just to drain the excess fat off. Well, it's not fat, it's oil. But just to soak up that extra bit of oil. Get that out of the way. Gas off. Just, I mean, they're not crunchy. I think they'd be a lot crunchier if they come out. If I'd done them in the deep fat fryer, they would be a lot crunchier. But still, I think we're going to be. I think we're onto a winner, if I'm honest, and certainly something that I will be looking at in the future. So we'll sacrifice the one that's not looking so good. So we'll sacrifice that one to have a look at it on camera. So sharpish knife, cut on an angle, and then we'll have a look. And there we go. Doesn't that look good? That's going to be lovely. I think as an alternative, I think that's going to be. I think that's going to be. They're going to be really nice. I think, and as I said, I think it's going to be one of those interchangeable recipes that you can kind of do. So anything that you could put in a stuffed pancake that wasn't too wet certainly would work really well in this. So you could put meat and cheese and some onions in. Anything like that's going to work. And we're going to work really well. For a second I didn't think it was going to work, but it's turned out well. Yeah, so yeah, I'll have a go at deep frying them as well. I think that's certainly worth checking out, and then we can have a look and see if that works as well. But anyway, that's it, a success. I'll write the recipe out properly and put it in the description, and any kind of like hints and tips and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's a success. Right, so I wasn't going to do this bit at the end, but I've just eaten two, and they are delicious. I cannot describe how much I enjoyed those to eat. Even though the sides here weren't crispy, the ends are really crispy. The cheese works really well, the leeks work really well, the onions work really well, and the chickpeas and the feta. I said chickpeas twice. I'm too excited. But anyway, absolutely delicious is that. Absolutely delicious, and I'm going to have a third. and I'd probably eat the other two as well and be a complete pig of myself, and then roll around on the sofa feeling sorry for myself that I've eaten too much. But absolute success, absolutely delicious.